You want to understand a country? Don't watch the news. Don't look at the stock market. Don't ask a politician. Open their refrigerator. In the United States, the average family fridge is a survival bunker. We're talking about a unit the size of a small wardrobe, built to sustain human life through at least 2 weeks of not leaving the house. Open one up and you are not looking at food. You are looking at stockpiles. A 4-gallon jug of milk. Vacuum-sealed slabs of beef stacked like red bricks, a block of cheese roughly the size of a dictionary. Somewhere in the back, a yogurt from 3 months ago that nobody has touched because nobody wants to be the one who deals with it. Americans don't shop for dinner. They shop for the next 2 weeks of potential dinners, like they've received some kind of warning that hasn't been made public yet. Now teleport. Open a fridge in a high-rise apartment in Shanghai. 2 eggs, 1 onion, a yogurt that's leaving by tomorrow morning. That's it. That's the whole fridge. This is not poverty. This is not someone who forgot to go shopping. This is a completely different way of thinking about food, time, and space. And once you understand why, you'll look at your own grocery habits completely differently. Same human beings, same need to eat 3 times a day. Completely different answer to the question of how to make that happen. This is the grocery paradox. Let's get into it. Here's the thing most people miss. Your shopping habits weren't really a choice. Your city made that decision for you before you were born. Picture a typical Tuesday evening in the American suburbs. You've just finished work. You need to pick up a few things for dinner. Maybe an onion, some pasta, a can of tomatoes. Simple enough. But the nearest grocery store is a 10-minute drive away. Then you need to find parking. Then you walk across a parking lot roughly the size of 2 football fields. Then you queue. Then you drive home. For 1 onion, you just spent 35 minutes of your life and a few dollars in gas. This is why Americans go shopping as rarely as possible. When every single trip costs that much time, the only logical move is to go once, buy everything, and not come back for 10 days. You load up a cart so heavy it takes real effort to steer. You come home with enough supplies to feed a medium-sized family reunion. Your garage ends up with a chest freezer in it, a second fridge, because the kitchen one isn't even enough. This isn't greed. This is just the math of living somewhere where getting food requires a highway. Now picture the same Tuesday evening in Shanghai. You finish work, you walk home. On the way, you pass a vegetable stall. You grab what you need for tonight, literally just tonight, and you're back in your apartment in 15 minutes. No car, no parking lot, no 35-minute mission. The vegetables are right there on the way home, like a vending machine in a train station. You don't plan to buy vegetables, they just happen to you. When getting food is that easy, why would you ever stock up? Storing 10 days of groceries in a Shanghai apartment means boxes in the bedroom, cans under the bed, a bathroom shelf borrowed for dry goods. And given that apartments in central Shanghai cost roughly $2,000 per square foot to buy, dedicating an entire corner of your home to a toilet paper reserve is, financially speaking, one of the worst investments you could possibly make. So you don't. You let the store downstairs handle the storage. You show up when you're hungry. The American way. Buy everything now. Because getting here was already a mission. The Chinese way. Buy only what you need tonight because you'll walk past this stall again tomorrow. Neither person is being irrational. They're both just responding to the street outside their door. Here's where it gets cultural, in the most literal way possible. In a Chinese wet market, there is an unspoken rule about fish. It has to be moving. Not fresh in the supermarket sense of packaged 2 days ago. Actually moving. Fins working. If you reach into the tank and the fish makes no attempt to escape, it's already disqualified. It's basically an antique. This isn't just a preference. It's a deeply held belief that the moment food hits a freezer, the moment you freeze it in time, something essential about it disappears. You can still eat it, but you're eating a copy, not the real thing. Chinese grandmothers have been arguing this point for generations, and no amount of food science packaging is going to change that. The practical consequence: you cannot bulk shop for a week's worth of fish on Sunday and call it done. The fish has to come fresh on the day. This locks you into a daily routine. Go to the market, buy what you need, cook it, done. Repeat tomorrow. This habit is sticky enough to survive immigration. Research shows Asian American families spend about 70% more on fresh fish and produce than the average American household. They will drive past 3 regular supermarkets to find the one crowded market where the fish tank is in the window and the vegetables still have actual dirt on them. The freezer is not a solution. The freezer is a last resort. Meanwhile, across the Pacific, the American relationship with freshness operates on completely different terms. The American fridge is less a kitchen tool and more a morgue with good lighting. The country has made a collective peace with food that's been vacuum sealed, pre-washed, chemically preserved, and frozen solid for months. The bag of pre-cut salad that's been gassed with nitrogen to stay fresh for 2 weeks? Convenient luxury. The 20-pound block of ground beef in the garage freezer from 8 months ago? That's dinner planning. Which brings us to one of the most universally recognized objects in American domestic life: the freezer graveyard. You know this freezer. It lives in the garage, next to the lawnmower, possibly next to some old paint cans. Inside, a bag of frozen peas from the previous election cycle, a slab of ribs that is now roughly 40% ice crystals and 60% regret, 3 tubs of ice cream, each bought during a different emotional moment, one thing wrapped in foil that has no label and that everyone in the house has silently agreed never to investigate. The freezer graveyard exists because Americans shop for the person they plan to be. Someone who cooks real meals every night and uses everything they buy. But by Wednesday, they're exhausted. They order pizza, and the optimistic bulk spinach quietly fossilizes in the back of the freezer. The giant American fridge is, in the end, a monument to the gap between our best intentions and our actual Tuesday evenings. Here's one scenario that explains the entire difference between these two worlds. You're in the middle of cooking dinner. You realize you forgot to buy a lemon. If you live in the American suburbs, this is now a 30-minute problem. You find your keys, get in the car, drive to the store, park, walk in, find the lemons, queue, pay, drive back. For one lemon. Most people don't bother. The lemon just doesn't happen. The dish gets made without it and nobody mentions it. If you live in a Chinese city, you open an app. A guy on an electric scooter shows up at your door in 20 minutes with the lemon. The delivery fee is less than $1. You go back to cooking. This kind of on-demand grocery delivery isn't a niche luxury in China. It's just how cities work there. The market for this kind of instant delivery is on track to hit $500 billion in China by 2025. For a lot of people in cities like Shenzhen or Beijing, keeping a fully stocked kitchen feels unnecessary, because the city itself functions like a giant pantry that's always open and 30 minutes away from your door at most. This changes the money math completely. In America, buying in bulk is genuinely one of the smartest financial moves a household can make. Studies show it saves around 27% on groceries on average. Toilet paper alone is 65% cheaper per roll in the giant pack. Batteries are 60% cheaper. The Costco membership card basically pays for itself in a few visits. But to get those savings, you need 2 things up front: cash and space. If you don't have $80 available right now to buy the giant toilet paper pack, you're stuck buying the small expensive one at the corner store. About 26% of low-income American households are caught in exactly this trap. They end up paying more for everyday items simply because they can't afford to buy in bulk. Being broke in the American grocery system is literally more expensive than being comfortable. The delivery model sidesteps this whole problem. You never need a big upfront spend. You buy exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. No bulk discount, but no wasted food, no storage problem, and no lemon ruining your entire evening. One system rewards you for having money and space to spare. The other rewards you for living somewhere with a lot of people and fast scooters. Every approach has a hidden cost. The question is just which one you'd rather deal with. The American bulk systems bill comes in the form of wasted food. Americans throw away roughly $180 billion worth of groceries every year. The average household tosses out about $728 annually. For a family of 4, that's nearly $3,000 in the bin every year in the name of saving money at Costco. That's the optimistic frozen spinach, the 4-gallon milk jug that didn't get finished, the bulk bag of apples where 4 went bad before anyone got to them. People buy for the version of themselves that cooks every night and then live the life of the version of themselves that doesn't and pay the difference in wasted groceries. The Chinese delivery systems bill is packaging waste. In 2020, China's delivery industry handled over 83 billion packages. 83 billion. 2 lemons arriving at your door come in a plastic tray, wrapped in bubble wrap, inside a sealed bag, with a printed receipt attached. The system is built for speed, not efficiency. And when every order goes to a different address on demand, there's no way to combine trips or cut down on materials the way a regular delivery truck would. The planet absorbs the cost of all those individual trips, all that plastic, so that your lemon arrives in 20 minutes. One civilization wastes the food itself, The other wastes everything wrapped around the food. Either way, something gets thrown out that probably shouldn't. Neither of these systems is irrational. Both make complete sense once you understand what people are actually dealing with. A chest freezer full of bulk meat in a Houston garage. Perfectly logical when your nearest store is a highway exit away and the garage is free. A Shanghai fridge with 2 eggs in it. Perfectly logical when your apartment costs a fortune per square foot and a scooter can be at your door in 20 minutes. What's interesting is that both sides are quietly borrowing from each other. American grocery chains are rolling out fast delivery to close the gap. And in Chinese cities, Costco and Sam's Club have quietly become fashionable. People are willing to sacrifice precious apartment space for the reliability of a big brand and a known quantity. What's in your fridge and how it got there is just a reflection of the street outside your building. It tells you how far you live from a shop, how much your spare room costs, and what an hour of your evening is actually worth. Same hunger, different street, both in their own way completely unhinged. So, what are you eating tonight?